Hey everybody, this is Chris, the OG on MFB, and you're listening to the Stretch It Out podcast.
Yes! First take.
What?
Oh, I've been waiting for an intro from him.
He is the OG. He is the OG.
Yes.
Chris Phillips, ladies and gentlemen.
Round of applause.
Chris Phillips, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, he deserves a round of applause, that man. He deserves a lot more than that. But just know, Chris Phillips, we love you. Was saving that for a very special occasion. And
Today
it was special. Yeah. Not really. It was just because it was the last one. So, but I really was trying to hold on to that one for as long as I could. But anyways, welcome back to the Stretch It Out podcast, everybody. My name's Nick Stretch. I'm here with my baby sis, Audrey.
Hello, everyone. It's been so long. I missed you guys.
We're back in podcast land. It has been a long time. This is the longest we've gone away from podcast land since we started visiting podcast land. So good to be back. It is so good to be back.
I'm super excited. Nick already knows it. I needed to come to podcast land.
Mm-hmm. Sometimes you do because it's therapeutic, right?
Yeah.
It's therapeutic. I mean, it's therapy for me listening to podcasts, right? So it's the same thing, when you're in podcast land, whether you're on, this side of the mic or doesn't matter. We're all here together.
Podcast land for me, especially today, is just more so me talking about my problems to my therapist, which is Nick. So
sometimes we got to wear those hats, and that's okay. Actually, it's a privilege to wear that hat. So
and he doesn't charge for a session, guys. That's the best part.
That's right. Friends and family discount. Friends and family discount.
I'm not going to vent on the podcast, guys. We're going to keep this fun.
We're going to have a good time.
Fun and
We're
real.
Have a good time.
Yes.
Have I ever told you about that comedian? It's Dusty Slay, I think is his name.
I believe so. That name sounds extremely familiar.
He's brilliant. Okay. He's brilliant. Great comedian. And one of the things that he does, and I kind of picked up on it and I just do it naturally because it's just so cool, is he always tells the audience, he always, as he's going through his set, he'll be like, yeah, we're having a good time. We're having a good time. And he says, at one point he explains it. He says, a lot of comedians will come out and ask, are you having a good time? And he goes, I just assume we're having a good time. So he just comes out and says, we're having a good time. I don't know. It's cool. And it's a lot funnier coming from him, but that's where I got that from. And we're going to have a good time. So
we are having
what are we talking about? What's the name of this episode? And I did put it in our document.
Yeah, let's call it with the acronym. So, and see if anybody can guess it. Should we even tell them the name of it? And
I think we should. Or do you think they're going to figure it out? Because here's the thing. If we did that, if we said just PPS and we didn't tell them what the title was, we would have to not title it on the actual thing, right? On the actual podcast, the episode. So it would literally just be, which I'm okay with, right?
Mm-hmm.
It would just be episode 17 and then it would say PPS and that's it. So maybe it's oh, that's interesting. What does that stand for? Maybe I got to listen to it to listen, but I don't know.
I was going to say maybe instead of a secret word, they got to guess what
the title
acronym is for PPS.
Well, but here's the part though that is kind of not fair is listen to every episode of the Stretch It Out podcast. We rarely talk about
not the topic.
And maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like majority of it we're not really talking about that, and I'm okay with that. But it's up to you. I won't say a word.
No, we'll tell them because it's a great name, guys, and I like it. Actually, Nicholas.
You don't want to make him guess?
We want to make him guess.
I don't know. You seemed really committed to that.
I know.
And now
I want to see what people say on social media to us.
Okay, just try to keep it PG-13.
Yeah, keep it PG, guys. Nothing dirty, okay?
Yeah, try to keep.
There's two PPs, okay?
Yes, we understand that. PPS.
We're all
PPS.
adults, okay?
Yeah. So here's the thing too, though.
Oh,
Now
it's
that
kind of
we're like,
hard.
that's what I'm saying. How do you talk about it without saying it? Because now you're playing that game. What's that game that you have to play? A Taboo or whatever,
I have no idea.
where you can't say the freaking.
Oh, you can't say that. Like
the word,
like
right? Yeah.
not Pictionary. I know what you're talking about. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Hopefully the viewers know what we're talking about because we don't.
The
know
viewers that can see us right now,
or the viewers that listen.
Yeah, guys, wipe your eyes. Make sure you can see us.
It's been a long week, and it's only Wednesday, and I'm still unemployed. It's been a long week.
It's all good. It's all good.
No, I think we gotta talk because otherwise we're gonna be talking, and it's not gonna really make sense.
Exactly. That was kind of my point.
Okay, y'all. We're gonna tell you the name. The title of this episode is PPS, and that stands for people.
They already know it, by the way, just because it does say it on. Yeah. Because we just agreed that we're going to do that. Or should I not do that? Should I not put it in there? Should I just call PPS and then you're going to give us what it's called? You already gave us the first word, so.
Well, I mean, it's pretty easy after that, right? No, it's not. No, we got to tell them. They already. Guys, this is usually what Nick and I talk about before the episode, like recording.
We had other stuff to talk about today, though.
We didn't even talk about the podcast. It's the episode. We talked about some other stuff. Nick's sweet setup.
Yeah, I'm sending her pictures of my setup.
Okay, so the title of this episode is People Pleaser Syndrome. And I think
that's it, PPS. So if you guessed it before that, send us a note. If you guessed it before that, let us know. And we're just gonna
be honest,
on good faith that you did that, and then we're, who knows what you get? Maybe like a high five or something, or a low five. I don't know. Can we do high fives or low fives? Air five.
Low, too slow.
You get an air five with COVID. Air five.
Air five. I mean, you could camera five, right? Just hit the camera.
Yeah, you could do that too. So people pleaser syndrome.
Yes,
I suffer from it.
I think a lot of people suffer from it and they don't realize, because that's how I was the other day.
Took it too far.
Yeah.
Took it too far. I think most of us aim to please to some extent, in certain areas, maybe of our lives, maybe not as much or as blatant as some of us are with it, but
yeah. I mean,
I think it's common.
I don't think I'm a huge people pleaser, like 24/7. There are some people like that, and I know a few. And I love them to death, but I tell them, it's okay to say no sometimes. But
it's hard sometimes, though. I'm a people pleaser. I mean,
yeah.
I definitely want the people that I'm around or the people that I love and care about. I just want them to be happy.
Right. I just want to, I'm the type of person that I just want to be there to help in any way that I can, whether it's, it could be time, it could be money, it could be just helping out in a situation, But
I just like to help. You're a helper.
Yeah, but I also feel like sometimes I do that in a more selfish way, just to be like, oh, I don't ever want them to say like I didn't help them. There's sometimes where I get that, and I'm like, am I really doing it out of like the kindness of my heart, or am I just being selfish so they can't try and use this against me later on?
Yeah, that's being selfish. I would say that's doing it for the wrong reasons, but I would also say that you're not alone.
And that typically comes when I help somebody move, Yeah. I could say, I helped you move. Now you need to come help me move.
Moving is rough, and a friend that helps you move, that's like, yeah, that's pretty G. It's pretty gangster.
You guys all remember Jenna, okay? Jenna helped me move, I think, 4 times because I constantly wanted a different apartment, or I wanted a newer one or a bigger one, and she helped me move, I think, a total of 4 times, and then I helped her move twice.
Dang, she helped you move so much. She was like, I might as well start an Instagram or just talk about getting gains.
Gains with G.
That's right.
But I'll tell you what, her and I have moving down to a T. So it's
Do
like,
you really?
Oh, we know how each other work. Like each of us works. We pack everything up the night before. All the big stuff is already ready to go for like the guys, any guys to like come and pick them up. We got
so
all
you can
the
start
boxes.
a moving company. You got it. You're ready to start a moving company. So if you needed to, you could. That's what you told me, which is great.
Yes.
I think that's awesome. I think that's great. I think that's super cool.
Right. So now this podcast has turned me into an entrepreneur of creating a moving company. Nah, just kidding.
Is that what you were going to talk about Jenna? Was how you guys movers? How he helped you move so much?
2021, guys. Just kidding. That's never going to happen. But no, yeah. So she's helped me. But I have a question. This is my question to you because this was something that I was dealing with,
Yeah. Shoot it to me.
Why do you think that we do become people pleasers?
That's a really good question.
Right? Like what caused us to be like a people pleaser?
Like how do we allow that to happen?
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of things that probably go into it. I know for me, I like being happy, right? So I like the feeling of being happy. Mm-hmm. And usually if I'm around other people that are happy, it makes me happy. And so naturally I want to protect that feeling, right? I want to protect that joy. I want to protect that happiness. And sometimes we just naturally tend to go to great lengths to do that, and unhealthy lengths. I think we all like to be liked as well. I think we all just, no one wakes up in the morning and goes, how can I be hated today by everybody I'm around? We like to be liked.
Yeah.
And, there's a little ego there. Everybody struggles with that too. But, I think it's a culmination of those things. And it's just really easy for somebody that genuinely does care and like it's coming from the right place, to really to allow themselves to, to go to those unhealthy extremes to try to please other people. And I think if you're a people pleaser, like we all are, or all of us can be, I guess at times, it's important, I think, to just make that something that you can actually acknowledge when you're going through something like you were going through, right?
Yeah.
And a lot of times you can't, and that's just truth. I mean, that's why it's so important to have relationships with people that really have your best interests at heart, because sometimes you just can't figure it all out. You can't even consider a different perspective sometimes. Right. Mm-hmm. But that's why it's important to have someone you can call, someone you can talk to. Hey, I'm struggling. Like I'm struggling with this right now. Like I'm, whatever. And that, hopefully your friend could tell you like, hey, like you don't need to worry about that. Like you're totally forgetting about you right now. Right. Yeah. A lot of times you need a friend to kind of reframe the picture for you and say, no, you're not looking at the right parts right now. And sometimes, that's what friends are for, right?
It helps you. It's really good when you have a friend like that too, because it helps reset, it's like what I was telling us earlier to the family group chat. It helps reset your focus and realize what, so for me, like, I told you, Nick, that the other day I was dealing with this quite a bit, and it was a kind of a mixture of like my list of things that I needed to do for myself. And then it kind of got tangled up. It became the snowball effect of becoming a people pleaser. So it's like my priorities got mixed up with other people's priorities. And I was trying to do everything that I possibly could to help them. And I didn't get to the things that I needed to do that day for myself. And I went out on my hike and stuff, and it reset my mindset to be like, Audrey, I have to come first. Mm-hmm. Like in the priorities that I had to do, I had to come first because this is now affecting like future, like future Audrey. Yeah. And so that's why I was like, I had to kind of put things to a stop. And thankfully I have a friend here who, Jenna, thank you, kind of reset that and was right like, on, Jenna. Hey, let's go out on this hike, refocus your mind. Cause for me, it's my like peaceful zone is just in nature, doing a hike away from society,
Yeah.
And
away from all the craziness.
Yeah. And so actually, like, Nick, when I told you, hey, I got the perfect episode, I got the perfect topic. I want to talk about this because I'm struggling with this right now. It kind of brought up some other things I noticed like from the past with other friends and myself have you ever heard of FOMO?
Yeah. Fear of missing out.
Yes. I think that is a huge run. I mean, right now it's not that huge because we're all kind of still on quarantine mode,
Yeah, true.
But if you think about it, I mean, a lot of, especially people in their 20s and stuff, they go through that because I went through that even with my previous position.
Yeah. That presents itself, I think, throughout life.
Yeah.
It does. And I think some of that is kind of from the ego too, right? You have to forgive me. I'm reading a good book right now and they talk a lot about ego. But
secret word.
But a lot of it, that stuff is because the ego is what tells us, that, we're entitled to better, we're entitled to more, right?
Yeah.
That's just, so we are always going to have that. It doesn't ever go away. Like we never get to check the ego box and go, cool, I've, figured out, my ego's under control for the rest of my life. You've got to constantly keep it in check. Right.
Yeah. It's the muscle.
And yeah. And that sometimes, I think again, having friends to be able to, call that out sometimes too, say like, hey, like, sometimes things just aren't going to work out the way you need it to work out either. Right.
Yeah.
But you get my point.
No, I get it. Ego. Hashtag it.
No, I'm not saying that's all of it. Right. But I mean, a lot of it, for me, when, especially when I'm going to those unhealthy lengths of, people pleasing, a lot of it is because, it's selfishly, there's something in it for me, there's a reward in that for me. There's some feeling of accomplishment or, who knows, but I'm after something and I'm, I don't even realize that I'm hurting myself in the process when I let it go that far. Right. Like like you said, where it's like, okay, I'm sacrificing a little too much of me here. And when that is, you feel uncomfortable. You don't feel, I'm not saying you just shy away from anything that's hard if you're doing it for a friend. I don't want to make it sound like that. Right. But
yeah.
But you do have to have time for you. You do have to make sure that you're taken care of. You have to make sure that, you're looking out for yourself, right? You put your oxygen mask on first, so then you can help the person next to you. That's how it works.
Because, like, for me, I would much rather take any kind of physical strain on my body before ever a mental strain on my mind. And I think sometimes, I get so deep with making prior commitments or agreeing to be able to help somebody do something and it's not even like physical labor. It's like helping somebody fill out an application or something like that, That's not
just helping.
Yeah, just helping. And then as I start my day and I start to realize like, oh my God, there's not enough time in the day right now. Like, oh shoot, I made this prior commitment with this person and I had some other things that I needed to take care of and I'm running out of time. And it's kind of like I just overbooked myself, Yeah.
And the overbooking in and of itself is the, that part that I'm talking about that is kind of being done selfishly or not selfishly. Like we want to please everybody, right? Mm-hmm. But we're kind of throwing it out there. We're kind of just, hey, like we just assume that, I'm going to have all the time in the world and I can help everybody. And I do that too, right? And you overbook yourself, you overcommit yourself. And then the part that usually sucks the most is you have to tell somebody at some point, hey, I'm sorry, I can't uphold my commitment.
Exactly.
And that's the part where you're like, God, why did I do this? This is terrible. I just did that recently. It wasn't that recent. It was like around Super Bowl time.
I did that yesterday to you.
And no, not really. But I did it pretty bad to a really good friend of mine. And his daughter does really good, like in archery, and
oh, she's like a Katniss.
Oh, she's incredibly amazing. Like she's gonna be on the Wheaties boxes for sure.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, so maybe they listen to this in the future. I should just do a shout out to Savannah in case they ever do listen. But she's just a true rock star. Her parents are just amazing, and her dad. I just love her dad to death. He's just a really good man. And anyway, I told him, hey, I was super excited to go out, record her at like one of her archery tournaments, and because it was going to be in the area. It was only maybe an hour and a half drive from where I live to go up there. Mm-hmm. And I was really looking forward to doing it. And I love doing video editing and stuff like that, especially for something like that. Like I'm like so excited for them, because she's just doing so great. And so I was all pumped about it, and turned out I had already made some commitment. And actually, I think I told, well, anyways, I'd made 2 other commitments for that same weekend to 2 other people. And I think they were both after I had told my friend, hey, yeah, I'm going up there. But it was heartbreaking because I wasn't able to do that. And that was the one thing that I think I wanted to do most. Dang. Right. So it was really hard for me to have to call him and say, and he was telling me like, hey man, you don't have to worry about coming up there. But I could imagine that she was probably super pumped, like, his daughter, like, that's cool. I'm going to have a cool video. And I was pumped about it. And it was hard for me to say like, hey, I can't make it,
Yeah.
And that's the harsh reality of, people pleaser syndrome, right? If you don't stop it before it gets to that point, if you're just throwing it out there, like, yeah, I can do anything and everything for everybody, I think you're being careless.
Yes.
And right. And so I think, again, you've got to get to that point where it's like, okay, like I can't please everybody. I'm not gonna be able to do everything for everybody. I've got to be realistic here. And sometimes we need that sting from that lesson to remind us of that. And I went through that recently. And since then I have tried to be more, aware of, my schedule, my time, and I'm less, I'm not going to tell you yes, unless I know for sure I can make that happen, because I don't want to let you down. So I might have to tell you, hey man, I need to play that by ear.
Yeah.
I'm really not certain that I'm going to be able to make that happen. And if it's something that's light, it's not real heavy, it's not a heavy deal. Like it's not a big ordeal. Like 20 people are gonna be meeting me somewhere. You know what I mean? Then I feel okay saying that. But if it's a big deal, like, it's scheduled, it's an appointment, then yeah, you're going to get a yes or a no from me. Right.
Cause I think like, being a people pleaser, having PPS, we should probably like notate that, hey, we're not doctors or anything. Is this a real syndrome?
Everybody knows we're not doctors.
Right. Oh, they didn't know that? I thought they knew that.
Well, they know now.
But I think having, PPS is, there's that balance between it before you start to actually hurt. I don't want to say hurt's not the right word. Before you actually, it's the word I'm looking for, Nick. I'm just going to say hurt a situation. Before you hurt a situation, because it's like you said, you're being so careless in it, and you're saying, yeah, I can help you here. And, oh, I got your back. Don't worry. I'll be there. I'm going to be here. Okay, cool. I'm committing. And then it turns now when you have to make that phone call or let that person know, hey, I'm not going to be able to make it. I'm really sorry. It hurts them now.
Yeah, because as soon as you set that out there, they're putting stuff into it, right? It's like as soon as you say, yeah, I have this empty space, they're immediately putting things into that. And what I mean by that is they're mentally preparing. They're mentally, okay, I'm going to do this now on this time. Or like in my case, right, they're probably telling, their daughter, yeah, this is going to be cool. He's going to come out and record and this and that. And then it's like, like it's terrible, when you do that, because you're hurting so many people. And you easily could have just in that moment when you were asked to do whatever it was by the other person or whatever, just told them, hey, I don't think I'm going to be able to make that happen. Right. Or if nothing else, if you're really like that, that you are the hardcore people pleaser, and you need a softer exit, right? Then just don't make the commitment and say, can I get back to you? Or can I think about it? I'm going to need to think about it because I have some other commitments, right? I have some other commitments. I have some other things going on. So let me think about that. And I would go as far as to say, if someone was like, dang, like that's kind of messed up, right? If I'm just playing this out for those of you that overthink things like me. If it got to the point where you're like, what if I actually hurt somebody's feelings, right? What if I hurt their feelings when I say I can't make it? Because that's what we're all trying to avoid, right? Trying to please them. We don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. Well, I think if it goes to that point, you can always back up and support what it is you're doing by telling them something like this. Hey, I would do the same thing for you if it was the other way around. If it was you that I'd made the commitment to and I had somebody else coming to me saying, hey, I would do the same for you. And I think that for most people, I think that would help put that into perspective, at least help them recognize your intentions.
Mm-hmm.
And usually your intentions are good. And when they see that, they can better contextualize everything else. Once they know your intentions are good, right?
Because they see that your intentions are good and they're seeing it from a different perspective.
And I can tell you that even if they get their feelings hurt, it's not going to be as big a deal. They're going to be over it probably within a few seconds. Whereas if you let it play out, like I shared with you guys in that example, it can get really bad and become really painful for a lot of people. So you've got to consider those things. And it really does go back to taking it off of you and reminding yourself, why are you doing certain things for certain people? You're doing it for those people. You're protecting that person from that huge fail that, in my example, I'm protecting those people from going through that when I say, no, I can't do that.
Yeah. And I have some friends where I say things like that, saying, hey, I'll have to get back to you. I don't know. Let me talk to so-and-so and let's see if we could get this together or whatnot. But there's other times I think it's so instilled in my mind that it's like, remember Dad always said, you made a commitment, you stick to it.
Absolutely.
And that's what it is. It's like, but I was like overbooking myself with all these commitments. And so I guess what I needed to learn, what's a good thing to learn is it's okay to commit when you can, but it's okay to also say no, or like you said, let me get back to you. I got to check some things out first.
Yeah, and then make sure you get back to them, right? Don't be the person that's
that's the other way.
Hey, I'll let you know, and then
leave them hanging.
Nobody hears from you, and now they're like, hey, are you going to make it, or what's going on, right? So your word is an important thing, and it can do a lot of good, or it can do a lot of harm. Even with good intentions, they can do a lot of harm.
Yeah.
And people pleasing, it's a dangerous game to play, right? It's a dangerous game to play. Especially when you start putting your own, yourself at risk, your own health, your own mental clarity, whatever it is, right? You've got to be careful with that. And for me, I would say probably work is a big one for me. And I'm not trying to say, you're not supposed to aim to please when you work. I think you are, absolutely. But I think that my people pleasing is really kind of heightened, if you will, in my work life, right? Because same thing. I want to please everybody, and especially in my professional career, I want people to know they can count on me, right?
Yep.
And it's the same thing, right? Right there, that's that ego, and the ego is what's going to make it that's what's going to push us to those extremes, right? Because it's almost like, I don't know, it's like you're telling yourself, no matter what, you're going to be the hero, right? Like, I'm going to get this done. I'm going to make this happen. I don't care what it takes. I'm going to do this. And I think, again, there's a healthy time and place for that.
What's that line? I think it was in Batman. It says,
I'm Batman.
I'm Batman. What's the line where it says, like, you live long enough as a hero to see yourself turn into the villain? What's that?
I don't know. Is that like a Disney Channel original?
I think it was on Batman. It was when the Harvey something guy gets his face burned off. To the listeners, if any of you guys know which line I'm talking about, please help me out.
Yeah.
It's a good line because it's true. Like, well, especially in this, it's, instead of like villain, it's just you live long enough. If you're a hero and then you overbook yourself too much or commit too much to something you can't do, you live long enough to see yourself back down from those commitments.
Yes.
Dang,
exactly. You have to be careful. And we all have to be careful. And we all have to constantly keep it in check. Again, you have to...
It's a muscle.
You have to... Exactly. You have to constantly be working on you, right? And your perspective. The perspective check just doesn't happen once an hour even, right? It's got to happen constantly. But it's a tough thing, people pleaser syndrome, because I just naturally just want to please everybody. And I know that it's tough to do. And I know, and I know that it's wrong sometimes, like Nick, but it is still hard for me. It's very hard for me. And
it's something that you don't realize that you're doing it until you become, I think, like just so overwhelmed to your breaking point of like, I got to cancel on somebody or.
Yeah, it sucks.
Like,
these are the reasons that some people just hermit crab all the time.
Yeah. because they people pleased one time and they were like, I'm done.
That's exactly. I'm serious. I mean, there's people that just are like, I don't want to go socialize. I don't want to make new friends. I don't want to, right? There's people that live like that probably because it's just so hard. It's so complicated, But
it's tough. I wish there was I guess that's why you have friends that kind of reset you sometimes and tell you, hey, what's going on? It's okay to say no. But man, I got sucked into it and I didn't even realize it. And then I hit my breaking point and I'm like, I had to call Nick, guys. I had to tell him, hey, I can't record today. We got to do it tomorrow.
Yeah, it happens.
And the only reason why I canceled on Nick was because, he's my brother. I'm like, out of everybody, he's going to be the one person that understands.
Yeah.
And that was the whole, that was the whole reason.
Otherwise, she would have gone to great lengths to please me and probably would have put herself through the torture of trying to do something she really shouldn't have been doing because she wasn't mentally in the game.
Yeah.
Right?
Because everything was just back to back to back to back. And it's like working out with no rest, guys. No rest break in between. Just a constant back to back. And that's what my mind couldn't take it anymore. I was like, I need to get out. I need to go walk or something.
I know you make it sound like it's super torturous, but you're talking, for me, that's about 30 seconds of my life. I can only do that for about 30 seconds, so it's not that bad for me. But I guess if you're someone that could work out for more than that, yeah, that'd be pretty painful. So.
It is. Have you ever done a 5-minute workout or a 5-minute ab workout? Just constant?
No.
You guys can go follow my personal page. I post videos every day of my workout. Well, that's a lie. I don't post it every day.
Posting it. Oh, I was gonna say you have been posting pretty consistently though. You're turning into what do they call it? Like a fitness influencer or like a motivator. You know what I mean? Fitness.
I'm not gonna lie, I kind of was. I had some workout people, like clothing companies, reach out to me.
Nice.
So I was like,
So what are you gonna do? Just tell them, yeah, I'll put you on the list? Or are you gonna go full blown people pleaser? Are you gonna be like, let me check my schedule?
I don't believe in their brand.
What version of Audrey do they get? Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I was like, thanks, but your guys' stuff. I live in Vegas. Your stuff's too hot to wear. It's like cotton material. Yeah. I'm like, we're already hitting 102. I can't be wearing that stuff.
Yeah.
But there is a reason why I'm not posting those videos. It's because the famous Jenna is in town and she does have so many friends here in Vegas. I'm not sure. Hopefully they don't listen to this episode. Listen to the podcast, but just not this episode.
I get it. Yeah.
We just don't want a lot of people knowing she's here because, we're still kind of, in this pandemic over here and stuff. So her mother.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
I get it.
But I'm I told her, I said, if you were just upfront with anybody who reached out to you, I'm pretty sure.
Our listeners won't say anything.
Yeah.
We have the best listeners. They're good. They won't say a word.
Secret, guys. It's a
We can trust them.
But I have actually been recording all of our workouts every day. I'm really tempted to post this workout that we did today. It was a great one. I couldn't breathe probably for 15 minutes. It was great.
Yeah, that sounds like terrible actually to me, but
hey, we're trying to get some abs over here, you know?
I think it's cool. I think it's cool. I think it's legit. I don't know that I'm ever going to be able to, I don't know that abs is something that, I don't know. I'm 35, right? I'm 35 years old, but I have kids, right? I'm married with kids. I'm 35 years old. I just don't feel, I don't feel like six packy, right? I don't think that that's,
I think now at that point, you know, you got the dad bod. All it is for you is just weird. I think for you, it's just maintaining like healthiness, right?
It would look
you want to
weird,
be healthy. Right? Nick, I don't think I've ever seen you with a six pack. So yeah, it would freak me out a little bit.
That's what I'm saying. I think it would be strange, but even more strange now.
Anyone in our family, like even old photos of dad, I don't think I've seen anybody in our family with a six pack, and it would probably freak me out.
No, because that's not, it's just not a thing.
It's just not us. I'm trying to get there, but I mean, I don't want a six pack. I just want to, you know, I want like a little 2-pack.
Just a little 2-packer?
A little 2-pack. You know those mini Corona bottles, the mini ones? That's like what I want.
Just a little mini Corona bottle?
I'm good. 2-pack Corona bottle.
I'm good on the 6-pack, but I do think I think it's really cool that you're grinding so hard and you're like, you know, doing the fitness thing. I think it's awesome. So I can't wait to go back to our gym when they open it. I don't know what it's going to be like, but I think it's going to be crazy at every gym when it starts to open back up. So I don't know, you know, I'll probably have to get there at 4 a.m. But
yep.
I'm still excited to get back to the gym and maybe even try to get some of my friends, some of the neighbors to try to do it with me, or even if it's not the gym, just, you know, something. I think it'd be cool.
It's fun. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to post the workout on the Stretch It Out podcast Instagram page.
Post away on the Stretch It Out
because it was
podcast
fun. Page. We did because I mean I know everyone. It's not working out is not for everybody. I get that. I understand that. That was me like a few months ago. You know, I'm not trying to pressure on anybody. But it was fun.
It's not for everybody, but it's also not for everybody at the same time either.
Yes, exactly.
Right. Everybody's got a certain time too.
I mean, come on, you guys, episode 1, I think I said I hate working out, and now I'm kind of like, okay, I kind of like working out now.
You like the feeling. Yeah, you like how you feel afterwards, right? I still don't like actually working out. I still don't actually like when I'm working out.
For me, it's the feeling. Oh, you still don't like working out?
I don't like it. When I'm like, yeah, I got to go work out. I'm not like, ooh, I want to go work out. I'm just saying I want to get it done so I can feel the mental clarity that I have after I work out. But a lot of times while I'm working out, I'm like, oh my God, this is painful.
So
I'm not like, this is fantastic. I love it.
I scream half the time. I feel bad for the neighbors next door. They probably think that like I'm murdering somebody back here.
And the Japanese really comes out when you're screaming too. So it's like the
video
really
today.
Crazy.
I forgot to take the sound out, and it's like I fast forward the video. So I'm going to leave like the sound on. I'm not going to put any music so you guys can see what it was like working out with Gains with G.
Heck yeah. I'm excited to check it out.
It's like breathing, laughing. It was really hard.
That's funny.
It's more hard because like we're doing the workout and it's like a friend thing, you know, it's like a partner workout, and we just get silly with it.
Well, if you don't do it all the time together, you know, because I was like that when back home, you know, work out with the buddies and stuff. And first couple times, it's just a little different, a little awkward, you know, because you guys are doing something different. Like I've never seen you in this element. You've never seen me in this element. And we're both in this new element together. And it's like, you know, hey, we're kind of leaning on each other. And but once you do it a couple times and, you know, that kind of fades. And but I think it's cool that you guys are able to, you know, because it's either like, hey, you guys are laughing and having a good time, or it's the other end of the spectrum where it's like, this is awkward and I'm not really enjoying this.
I'll never be that person I can't be that person at the gym that's like dead serious. I laugh even if I'm by myself. Because I got like
I'm pretty serious when I'm
I have like a thought pops into my head and I'm like, oh my God, that was so funny 5 years ago. And then you have your AirPods on, right? So I didn't realize this, that, so I have my AirPods and I do all my videos, right? But I'm listening to my music. But when I'm recording the video, it's picking up all the sound outside of my AirPods, obviously. So it's picking up my breathing. And there was a video where it's like, you can hear the neighbor talking. Someone came and like was mowing their lawn, and then you can hear my breathing, and my breathing is out of control. Guys, if you ever run with me, I apologize.
Yeah.
I sound like I got one lung working and the other one is struggling to not give out.
Sounds like a lot of fun. You're making it sound really
it's fun.
Attractive. Like I'm like, man, maybe I should start jogging again. No thanks.
No, once you get past the hard part, like the first mile is the hard part for me. And then I get like a random burst of energy where I'm like, I'm just going to keep going. You know, pull a Forrest Gump and just keep running.
I know that feeling. I usually get that about my 8th Krispy Kreme donut. I know exactly what you're talking about. Where I'm like, man, I'm starting to feel like I don't think I can eat anymore. And then like somewhere around that 8th one, I'm like, you know, I got my second wind. I feel like I can take this whole dozen now, you know?
You
I know exactly what you're talking about.
To the bathroom and you were like, yeah, I could do it. I could keep going.
Remember when I came out and we hung out in Vegas the last time I came out? We had so much fun. And
the one where we were going to do like an all-nighter and drive to Dad's at like midnight.
We still did pretty damn good, in my opinion. But
yeah, I think we just took a nap and we left at midnight.
I slept on the way because you drove. But yeah, it doesn't matter. We made it there. But it was cool because I did that when we went to that place, that cool restaurant, that like buffet.
Oh yeah, we went to.
Just had to get up. I just did a couple jumping jacks and then I was good to go. Plus, we had way too many mimosas, but. Yeah, that place was bomb.
No, but that place was amazing. I can't wait to go there again. Because it was like what, like $50, I think, per person, or 45. I don't know.
We got there. Oh, we got there after the deal. Remember, there was like a deal where it was like super cheap, where it was like $30 a person, and we got there and we're like, hey, is it still that? They're like, no, just ended like 5 minutes ago. We're like, oh, so it's $75 a person. Okay.
Yeah, but we didn't know it was unlimited mimosas.
Yeah, and she reminded us of that. She was like, well, the good thing is it's unlimited mimosas. And we were like, what? So.
And Nick, you ate, I think I had like 4 slices of bacon and I don't know what else.
I had 4 plates of bacon, I think.
Yeah. Guys, I'm not good at buffets. I wish I was, but.
You did good on the mimosas. You did really good on the mimosas.
I filled up on the mimosas.
But we had a really good time, man. That was fun.
Oh, it was fun.
I want to come out and do that again. We need to get Alyssa. How do we do like a siblings? How do we make that happen? I know it'd probably be easier to do later in life when we're older. Cause I think like our 50s.
You guys got kiddos.
Well, that's why I'm saying like your 50s, I think is really where you, Aunt Donna was telling me about that years ago. She was like, 50s is awesome. Like she was like kind of schooling me on like why the 50s is just like legit. So I'm looking forward to the 50s, but I think cause around that time, 45, 50, then we can go do more stuff like that. But
it'll be great. We just got to wait for Vegas will be open about when we're 45. So that'll be great.
Yeah, it'll be fun. Well, we got to figure something out, right? We have to figure out, and we've talked about this. We have to figure out how to do a family reunion. I promise you, if Mom was still here, we would still be having family reunions every 5 years or something.
We would have one every year, and it would be at Disneyland somehow. You're
right. We need to figure that out. I mean, Disneyland's probably the best place to do it, but then you've got all the people on Dad's side of the family that are, got to go quite a ways. Or we could do Disney World and try to get everybody to Disney World, but then that's just a big bill that everybody's got to, front. But if we do one big family reunion and we give everybody enough advance notice, I think it would be awesome.
I want to. Once all this is over, I'll be saving back up and then we can go.
Well, let's just put a pin in that. Let's make sure we don't forget about that because I think we need to make that happen. I think
pin
awesome.
is in.
Sweet. I love that we're talking about people-pleasing syndrome. People pleasers.
We're over here making commitments that we don't know about yet.
Yeah, we're like, we got time. We got all the time in the world. Yeah, family reunion. Yeah, any day of the week. We can do it tomorrow.
Let's call everybody. Right now, it's Zoom. It's Zoom family reunions. That's what we got.
I do. I need to shout out Courtney and Emily and Wendy. The Simply Fun balloons that they're doing.
Oh,
it's taken off.
Yeah,
it's blowing up. Orders are coming in like crazy. So, I mean, it's crazy. Like I saw Emily like running down the street, and I was like, "Hey," and she's like, "Hey," and she's like, "Talk to you next week." Basically, I'm too busy. Like I'm just kidding. No, but even Courtney, like she's like, "Okay, I'm gonna be, doing the balloons," and I just don't see her, So,
but I see our watches are linked up for the for the like our little competition stuff. And is she walking these balloons? Because she'll like finish a workout at like 4-mile walks, and I'm like, okay, well, dang, Courtney.
No, she just she does get out and walk a lot and run and stuff.
Kudos to her then, because she's hustling the balloons and she's still getting out. That's awesome.
Yeah, she's doing a great job. But I'm just proud of all of the girls for doing that. Wendy, Emily too. I think it's just super cool that they're doing it together and that it's taken off, and that they're not just throwing this stuff together either. I mean, it's like they care a lot about what it is they're providing to these people. And it's just super cool to see them working through just different challenges and obstacles. And James was out there helping them out. Kudos to James, man, for stepping up. I mean, that dude's a machine. He works like, 26 hours a day, and then just still has time to just like, I'll help you guys out. And he just keeps working. I don't know how he does it, but
you talk about a people pleaser. It is James. James, this is your episode.
I always say James is a beast. He's always in beast mode, but he's helping them out too, and it's just cool to see the girls like really just kind of focus on something together, and they just have like this whole other level of energy that they have, right? They've got this really magical like synergy between the three of them, but then like the level of energy that they have when they're doing this stuff together, it's just super cool. And I'm feeding off of it, and I just want to keep encouraging them. Hey, just keep doing it. It's awesome. I think it's, super cool. And I keep telling Courtney, just keep it fun. Keep it fun. Yeah. I'm like, just keep it fun. Having a good time with it. You guys are killing it. So
what is it? It's Super Moms of MFB.
MFB.
Yeah.
MFB. Chris said it at the beginning of the episode. So.
For those of you who perhaps don't remember, it means for marbles. What?
Marble Falls Bend.
Balls. Dang it. I always forget.
Marble Falls Bend. Yeah.
I actually just came across a video because like on your like social medias and stuff, it's like 1 year ago this memory happened.
Yes.
It came up on my Snapchat, and it was the time when I took you to the doctors to
oh gosh, are you serious?
Take care of the head thing, right?
Yeah.
Right? And
keeps on coming up, doesn't it?
I know. You thought you got rid of it. You did not. But Courtney needed to like pick the kids up from the school. And because you and I drove the car there, I had to drive the car back to the house.
Oh, yeah. It was super. Yeah. It would have been a huge headache for most people. But Courtney's like, no problem.
Yeah. Courtney's like, yeah, just go ahead and go. And then she called. She was like, oh, hey, I actually need the car to go pick up the kids. Like we forgot what time the kids were getting home and stuff or something. And it's a video of me, and I was recording myself. And I'm like, hey, guys, Audrey here. And I'm like, I just had dropped my brother off at the doctor's office, and I had to go back, and I'm telling the whole story, and I go, but I don't know where my brother lives.
I love it.
Like I didn't, I was just like in such a hurry to get the car back to her that I was like,
how do I get back to where he lives? How did you figure it out?
And I was like, I don't even know his address, like nothing. So I was just kind of going off of memory because it was right down the street. But then that's when like randomly it started pouring. So then I'm like, oh, great. But it was
just made it that much better.
Because in the video, I'm like, so guys, I actually have no idea where I'm going. I think it was down this road, and I think I make a left. So I'm pretty sure I made one wrong turn. But
I want to see that. You should put that one on our Facebook,
right?
Too. That's funny.
I'll share that one so everybody can see.
Heck yeah!
Oh, good old memories. I was sorely or I was very sad that I missed the video of him like taking it out. I wanted to see that so bad.
Did we take a video of it?
No, because I had to leave.
Oh, I'm like, I never saw a video of that.
No, you were still in the waiting room, and I was like, oh my God, I'm going to rush back and have Courtney come back and drop me off so I can record this. And by the time...
I remember. Yeah, because you were texting me. You were like, you know, I think you at one point texted me like, don't let him touch you until I'm back. Like,
yeah.
You were so committed to getting that video, and you were so bummed when we didn't get it.
I was like, stall him. Stall him. Let him go to the next patient.
I remember. That's funny. Yeah, he had to like dig in there too, because I remember him being like, wow. He said like,
ugh. Can only imagine the sound.
He said there's cis. And then there's cis. He's like, this is definitely it. I was like, okay, yeah, that's great, buddy. Just get it out of my head so I can go home and eat dinner. It was
Let me put my hat
good
back
experience.
Oh, that was such a funny night though when we tried to pop it. Good times.
I'm so stupid for letting you guys do that.
We were stupid for trying to do it with a sewing needle.
Bad idea. Anyways, yeah, I love how that came up in our episode titled People Pleaser Syndrome.
Little hidden memories, guys. Every time. It all started with MFB.
It did. It all started with MFB. I love my MFB crew.
I love that you guys
all of my
just
MFB
created
crew.
That crew.
Giacomo and Lauren, y'all are still MFB. So, yeah, the crew just kind of happened. Yeah, just kind of happened on its own, naturally.
Organically.
I know that's a word that I use a lot, but it's just...
Yeah, you said it earlier, so that's why I used it.
It fits in most places. So what else do we got? I'm ready to wrap it up.
I think we talked about it before. I think we should still do that shout out to where we, learned of a new listener. Well, we think it's one listener.
Yeah, it's cool. So for those of you that don't know, because I didn't know this until just recently.
I didn't know.
We do all of our, we use SoundCloud, right? That's like what we started the podcast on, and everything that you, everywhere you listen to the podcast, right? And if you don't know, we have the podcast is on Google Podcasts, it's on Apple Podcasts, it's on Spotify, it's on YouTube, right? And SoundCloud, and it all comes from SoundCloud. So anyways, I say that because you can go into SoundCloud, into your account, and like it tells you like where your listeners are coming from. It tells you who your top listeners are, who's listening the most, and it's really cool kind of look. And it was cool to discover that we actually have more than a few listeners, which is awesome. So thank you for listening, and thank you to the new listeners. I know we got a lot of new people coming on listening.
Yeah.
But the funny thing is, when I say that, most of the new listeners aren't listening to these episodes. They're starting at the beginning, which I think is cool because then you're kind of in the know, right, on all the other stuff. But anyways, I digress. So I can see where everybody's listening from, and I was sharing with Audrey some of the places around the world that we have people listening, and I just thought it was kind of cool. Some of the places that I was reading off, and that's why she wanted to. But the thing is, Audrey, there's people listening from all over, so it's like, you can't just pick one place.
Well,
just because
I thought it was just like one person that was outside the country, and then that's when you started like naming off all these other ones, and I'm like, oh, well, shoot.
I mean, it's really cool. Yeah, maybe we can. Let me pull it up on my phone.
We're pretty sure. I'm like, I think I got like a 70. Well, actually, no, I have.
Yeah, you probably know some of the people because you told them, right? Hey, go check it out, so it's them. But I'll just read just.
It was my friend Melon from the UK. I met him when...
Yes.
So he listened to one, and I'm like super hyped on that.
It's
Shout out
cool.
to you. Or maybe it was Ari. I don't know which one it was. I'd have to call him up.
It's awesome. We're getting a lot of love from all over, and it's super cool to know that that some of our words are making it across oceans.
Yeah,
pretty cool feeling. But anything else?
It's neat because we started this podcast. We thought, Dad was going to be Our one
listening.
listener.
Yeah, he hasn't figured it out yet, but he'll start listening.
Yeah, I was gonna say Dad's like the one that's probably not listening at all.
Well, think about it though. We didn't have it everywhere either for everybody. And honestly,
we really didn't.
Think about this too. How many podcasts are you listening to when they just started, when they had the first episode? I mean, it's just not something you want to put a lot of stock into right away. It takes time, right? It does take a long time, but
it's what's like really starting cool is, a brand new TV series. I will literally watch, like I'll sit there and I'll see on Netflix or something like, oh, everyone keeps saying like, you need to watch, I don't know, what's a series? Rescue Me. Everyone keeps telling me I need to watch Rescue Me. And I'm like, I'm just not really.
Game of Thrones. That's a big one, isn't it?
Yeah. I'm just not willing to put in that time yet. I'm not willing to commit to that series yet.
Yeah. It is a big commitment. It is a big commitment.
It's the same with the podcasts.
Well, that's what I'm saying. What's cool about our listeners is that there's a lot of depth there with our listeners. Like we have like a real connection with them because they're mostly our friends and family, right? But I think it's cool, the feedback that we get from Alyssa and from Andy and Dad and, Chris and, James. James is, sending me text messages, talking about it's funny because he'll mention something in a text and it'll sound familiar and I'll be like, what is he talking about? And then he'll send me a picture. I'm listening to the podcast. Right. And then oh yeah, I remember that.
I know it's hard, huh?
One of the things that he did text me now that I'm thinking about it was he did tell me out of the blue. He said, having green eyes does not count. You're getting pinched. So in case you forgot about that little conversation.
I've had people like reach out via social media or text messaging and stuff. And yeah, they'll quote something in the podcast and it takes me a second where I'm always like, is that in a movie somewhere? Like, why are they texting me this? And then it's the same thing. They're like, listening to episode 10. And I'm like, oh yeah, that's right.
So cool.
But then I'm also like, dang, that was forever ago.
It's so cool though. It's just awesome.
I love it. I think it's awesome. I love the fact that you guys actually enjoy listening to my nasally voice and my messed up mic.
It's not nasally. Your mic's good. We recorded how many episodes with your AirPod mics?
Oh my God.
We're good. We good.
This is an upgrade. Well, that was the shout out. I was going to shout out to everybody all over the world who's listening. But the first country that Nick said he when he was talking about this, he said, we have somebody in Ireland that's listening to us. So if you're the person in Ireland listening to us, or maybe we have multiple people in Ireland,
go to our Instagram.
Go to Instagram. Go to the Stretch It Out podcast on Instagram. I want to know who you are so bad. I will give you a camera high five.
Yes. Yep. And she'll get it to you in 6 months.
Yes.
Just ask Chris.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Or even in any country, because there was a lot of other countries that were listening to us, and that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, it's cool.
Pretty wicked.
What I think it really is they clicked on it on accident and just went to the next thing. And I think it just said, yeah, someone clicked on it. You know what I mean? I don't think they actually. But it does make us feel good. So getting back to that ego thing.
Yeah. If we get the person from Ireland that hit us up or any of the other countries, I'm going to be so stoked.
It would be cool. It would be awesome.
Like I'm going to jump in the air. Like, like a little kid jumping on the bed. That's going to be me just jumping around like, what?
That's crazy.
I want you to be my new best friend.
Yeah. Let's hang out. And it's like a murder.
Yeah.
It works out great. Yeah.
If you're a murderer, don't contact me, guys.
Yeah. Well, we got that out of the way. So
shout out to the super moms. Shout out to Jenna. Stay tuned for next week's episode. I'm so excited. I'm not going to tell you guys, but I'm excited.
Yep. I'm excited about it too. I don't know what it is, but I'm pumped. And happy Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers.
Yep. Happy Mother's Day to all the moms. It was and shout out to, not shout out because that sounds kind of bad and we're kind of overplaying that one, but
that's our word. Words.
I think we should probably maybe next time around Mother's Day, we should make a note of this. We should talk about Mother's Day and how celebrating Mother's Day when your mother isn't around, how that changes it, and just talk about the positives, touch on some of the challenges, but there's a lot of people out there that have gone through what we've gone through, or that, something similar. And I think it would be a healthy conversation to have about, how we kind of handle that day, right? As as individuals, as a family, right? So anyway, for next time, but just saying that just to, acknowledge that there are other people out there that celebrated Mother's Day without their mother. And just want to say that even though I may or may not know you, right? And, if you're listening right now, just know that I was thinking about those people on that day. I was thinking about you. You're definitely in my heart. And when I'm thinking about like those things with my mom, I'm not just thinking about myself. I'm often thinking about other people that I know that are, that have lost a loved one, or just other people in the world that are going through that. So just wanted to acknowledge that. But happy Mother's Day to all the moms for sure. And I think we're right at that hour mark.
Perfect. We did 1 hour and 1 minute.
That's right.
We're getting good, guys.
We don't want to brag or anything, but
I don't want to toot my own horn or nothing, but toot toot.
Toot away.
Toot toot. I'm gonna get a horn. I'm just kidding. I'm gonna go make some dinner. I loved being in podcast land. Thank you, everybody. Thank you.
Thanks, everybody. Thanks for all the love. And thanks for hanging out in podcast land with us. We'll talk to y'all next time.
Bye. Enjoy your week. Be kind.
Please be kind.